Imagine the scene, Zurich, 1930s. A man walks into Carl Jung's office. He is not an ordinary patient. He is Wolfgang Pauli, one of the most brilliant physicists in history, the man who would soon win the Nobel Prize and who terrified the scientific community with his relentless logic. But there, in that room, the genius was broken. He was not looking for formulas, but for salvation. The man who mapped the atom was being haunted by dreams he could not understand, and by an invisible force that seemed to tear his rational life apart. What happened within those four walls was not just therapy. It was the beginning of a secret alliance that would unite, for the first time in history, quantum physics and depth psychology. They discovered that matter and mind are not separate, that chance does not exist, and that the strange events in your life, those impossible coincidences, are, in fact, evidence of a hidden reality connecting your dreams to the very structure of the universe. Are you ready to learn what they discovered and what modern science is still afraid to admit? Before we descend together into this abyss of knowledge, I need you to make a decision. Most people live on the surface, ignoring the signs. If you feel you are part of the minority seeking the truth behind the veil of reality, subscribe to the channel now. Hit the like button to show the algorithm that you value deep content. And comment down below, "The universe speaks to me." Let us see how many of us are awake. The journey begins now. Wolfgang Pauli was known as the conscience of physics. His mind was a sharp blade, capable of dissecting reality into precise equations. However, the universe demands balance. The more he illuminated the outer world with reason, the more his inner shadow grew in the darkness. Pauli began to collapse. He became involved in bar fights, destructive drinking, and corrosive loneliness. This is the starting point of our journey, the recognition that rational intelligence alone is a fragile defense against the absolute forces of the psyche. The Pauli effect, the legend that laboratory equipment would break simply by his presence, was more than a joke. It was the external manifestation of his internal chaos. Upon seeking Jung, Pauli sought not only a cure but understanding. Jung, realizing the patient's genius and complexity, decided not to analyze him directly at first, delegating him to an assistant to avoid contaminating Pauli's virgin dreams with his own theories. What followed was a torrent of dream images. Pauli produced hundreds of dreams filled with geometry, symmetry, and cosmic symbols. Here we see that the unconscious of a scientist does not speak in words, but in abstract structures, revealing that the language of the soul is universal and predates science itself. Pauli's dreams were not ordinary narratives, they were diagrams. He dreamed of mandalas, rotating circles, and the number 4. Jung identified this as the psyche's desperate search for wholeness. In physics, Pauli dealt with the number 3, the 3 spatial dimensions, but his unconscious screened for the 4, the lost element, feeling, integration. This reveals how the mind attempts to compensate for the imbalance of conscious life through perfect mathematical symbols, showing that mathematics is not a human invention, but an archaeological discovery of the mental structure. The climax of Pauli's dream life was the vision of the world clock, a sublime and terrifying image of 2 discs, one vertical and one horizontal, rotating in perfect rhythm, uniting time and eternity. Jung considered this one of the most important dreams ever recorded. It represented the unused mundus, the harmonious union between the physical world of energy and the psychic world of meaning. This vision served as the map for the theory they would develop together, proving that the answer to the dilemmas of quantum physics was hidden in the dreams of its creator. Here, we define the heart of the theory. Causality, where A causes B, is the ruler of classical science. But Jung and Pauli proposed synchronicity, a principle of a causal connection. It is when an internal state of fear, a dream, an idea coincides with an external event, an object, a meeting, an accident without any physical line linking them, yet united by profound meaning. It is not telepathy nor magic. It is the revelation that mind and matter are 2 aspects of the same underlying reality, behaving as mirrors of each other in moments of high emotional charge. Consider the most famous case involving Jung. A rationalist and blocked patient was recounting a dream about a golden scarab, a symbol of rebirth. At that exact moment, a real beetle, similar to the one in the dream, tapped against the office window. Jung caught it and said, Here's your scarab. The logical shock shattered the patient's resistance and allowed for healing. Synchronicity acts as a therapeutic miracle, an intervention of reality to break the stagnation of the human mind. Pauli brought to psychology what quantum physics had discovered. The observer affects the observed. You cannot look at an electron without altering its position. Jung applied this to the psyche. You cannot observe your dreams or complexes without altering them. This unites the two disciplines, showing that pure objectivity is a myth. Human consciousness is an active agent in the creation of reality. The way you look at the world literally alters the world. You see, Jung and Pauli reached a bold conclusion: the structure of the atom and the structure of the archetype, the fundamental patterns of the unconscious, are analogous. Just as matter is made of invisible particles that shape the physical world, the mind is made of invisible archetypes that shape our perception and destiny. They speculated that, at the deepest level, physics and psychology merge into a neutral psychophysics, where there is no longer a distinction between what is stone and what is thought. This brings us to the unus mundus, the medieval concept they resurrected. The unus mundus is the potential reality from which everything emerges. Before something is a thought or a thing, it is pure potentiality. Synchronicity is a momentary glimpse of this unified world. It is a crack in the matrix. When we experience a meaningful coincidence, we are, for a brief second, touching eternity and seeing the hidden gear that moves the universe. It is a numinous experience, almost religious, yet grounded in empirical observation. How do we live knowing this? Pauli never made the totality of his mysticism public for fear of academic ridicule, but he lived transformed. Jung left us the map. Living a symbolic life means being attentive to patterns, respecting dreams, and understanding that the universe is constantly in dialogue with us. Existential loneliness ends when we realize we are an intrinsic part of this cosmic web. We must stop being automatons and become readers of destiny's signs. Jung and Pauli did not just leave us a theory to be studied in dusty books, but a map for reconnection with the soul of the world. They showed us that we are not orphans in a cold and empty universe, but children of a cosmic dance where every thought, every dream, and every fear echoes in the structure of reality, creating reflections we call destiny. By integrating this vision, you cease to be a victim of circumstance and become a pilgrim attentive to the signs life places in your path. Coincidences cease to be chances and become sacred dialogues, moments when the eternal invades time to tell you that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. The separation between what you feel inside and what you touch outside is an illusion. You are, ultimately, the microcosm where the entire universe recognizes and experiences itself. Take this truth with you not as an intellectual concept, but as a flame that warms days of uncertainty and lights up the dark nights of the soul. Remember that synchronicity is the whisper that there is a greater meaning, a loving and mysterious order weaving the threads of your life, even when you cannot see the full design. You have never been alone. The universe has been looking at you through your own eyes all along. If something resonated within you today, if a door opened in your mind, do not let this moment be lost in the distraction of daily life. Subscribe to the channel to continue this journey of awakening. Like this video so this message finds others who are also seeking answers, and share it with those who need to know that life has a deep purpose. Your search for truth is what keeps this channel alive. Until our next meeting at the crossroads between the mind and the mystery.